Every game is a big game to us in that sense. If it's against an opponent maybe that has a higher RPI or a higher profile, I can understand that. But literally, we treat every game exactly the same. We've treated this game coming up tomorrow the same. What we've done is who do we have some confidence in? I felt like Connor Richardson ran our scout team very well yesterday and did a really nice job, and she's been defending really well, shooting the ball well, so you're going to see her tomorrow. Angela Staffolino, obviously, in our last game against George Washington, had, I believe, 11 points in about 15 minutes, and probably should have played her a few more minutes, and that's on me. With the size of what Seton Hall has inside and how physical they are, you can expect to see Angela Staffolino play. Maybe a little bit more than Bree Thomas, but it all depends. It's a little bit of an ebb and flow. If we feel like Bree can give us an advantage with her mobility and quickness, we may go that direction. I think you'll see a lot of Chastity Omogrosso. I think she might have had her best practice. I believe she had her best practice as a Duquesne Duke yesterday, and is really shooting the basketball well, and I think she'll really be of big benefit for us tomorrow.
Over here.
Coach, you've seen Seton Hall on the team. What are some of the things, when you had to make your game plan adjustment, what is something that stuck out to you immediately that you had to make an adjustment for your team to be successful?
I think the two biggest things are we have to defend ball screens correctly. We're going to see ball screens all over the floor all night. We know that, and we have to defend those correctly. And then, everyone talks about their guards, and they can score. There's no question about that, and they're going to give us a lot of trouble with penetration. I'm really concerned about their post players because their posts are big and physical, and we're going to have to do a very, very good job and be physical and match not just the physicality of it, but surpass that physicality. And that'll be a big determination on whether we win tomorrow or not.
And that was my second question. How are you going to defend their length down low in the post game?
Well, I think we're just as big. It's more their physical girth, I guess you could say. They're big, strong girls, and if you've seen Amadeus Samashi, she's strong, but we call her Hungarian spaghetti, and it's for a reason because she's built like spaghetti. For us, I think for us to have success offensively, our post players are going to have multiple moves. It can't be just a dribble, jump hook because they're going to muscle and bull us. I think reverse pivoting and facing up and looking to attack them that way and using our quickness. And our post players are very skilled, and they are legitimately 6'3". I think will be a big benefit to us. But if it becomes a power game down low on the block, we're going to be in trouble. We can't let that happen. We're going to have to bump them early, not let them get to the block.
Pat.
To start with, it broadens the diversity of the university. I think everyone can see that from our president on down to the custodial staff to our students who are not athletes at Duquesne. I think everyone is proud of what we have in terms of the diversity that we have. Why do we do it? Frankly, the Duquesne brand resonates within about a 4-hour radius of campus, which puts us to Cincinnati and to the west and the western suburbs of Philadelphia to the east. For us to have success from a recruiting standpoint, we need to look at other places. So we recruit typically within about a 4-hour radius of our campus, and then we have what we call islands: Toronto, Montreal, and then about 5 countries overseas. To us, Budapest is just as close as Atlanta or Orlando. We're very fortunate that my wife was a pretty accomplished national team player in Hungary, and we're able to use some of those connections to secure some very good players from overseas. And we take a lot of pride in understanding everyone's differences and their culture, whether they're an inner city kid from Columbus, Ohio, or they're a country kid from Wellsburg, West Virginia, or they're from Budapest, Hungary, or they're from Tallinn, Estonia. We want to know a little bit about them. Our young lady from West Virginia, Angela Staffolino, I think she can swear better in Serbian than the Serbian can. So we have some fun with that. But it's just, I think the biggest thing that I can do besides teaching on the floor is learning as much as I can about all of our players, whether it's Chastity Omogrosso from Beaver County or it's Millie Gronish from Bergen, Norway. we've had a lot of success with the international players, and very frankly, every one of them was recruited and offered scholarships by Power 5 schools. Amadeus Samashi had 3 or 4 ACC school offers. We had a young lady a couple years ago named Orshi Seichi. It came down to us and UConn, and she came to Duquesne. She, UConn was recruiting her. It was UConn, Oklahoma, and us. And she would ask my wife, "What is it about UConn? Who is this Gino?" in Hungarian. And my wife would say, "It doesn't matter." And she was a pretty good player for us, a 6'3" guard who's now playing professionally in the Euro League. So we've been very fortunate to have kids that were very high-level players. Eniku Kuter, who plays for us, who's probably the last off the bench, was a starter on the Hungarian national team that took the USA team and gave the USA team everything they could handle at the U17 World Championships in the Czech Republic 2 years ago. So we're able to get especially post players that are kids that if they were American citizens would be playing at the upper levels of the Power 5 league. So that's a long answer, but, thank you for asking.
Right here.
Coach, this is a big stage for a lot of people, especially being the first. How do you keep them mentally focused, and how do you control their emotion? It is a big stage.
We haven't done anything differently. We had an incredible selection show on Monday. We had over 400 people at our selection show, and for a school that has never been to the NCAA tournament on the women's side and hasn't been in the NCAA tournament since 1977 on the men's side, it was an incredible, electric celebration. And many people that were there would tell you that. Zach was there; he could tell you. We celebrated it to midnight like we always do, and then we moved forward. Tuesday we came in and we practiced and we really worked on player development, and our philosophy is 3 days prior that's how we do game prep. So we started focusing on Seton Hall on Wednesday, and we've treated things exactly the same. Nothing has been out of the ordinary, and we're trying to make it look like it's a regular game, and I really haven't seen anybody with nerves. I think you saw a little bit of nerves here because they're in front of you all with a microphone, but in terms of being on the floor, I've seen no differences in them. Maybe the first minute or two tomorrow, they'll have a little bit of nerves, but I don't really expect that. Earlier this year, we played in front of 6,000 at New Mexico. We always draw really big crowds for some of our other games. So we're just trying to approach it just like it's any other game.
Anything else? Yep.
After the Georgia-Washington game, sure you go back to the team. I know you made some adjustments. Do you incorporate anything different in your practice schedule and anything coming out here?
I did not watch that game. I don't want to watch that game. To be honest with you, we had a week off, and we wanted to get away from things a little bit, so we all took a couple days off. We played, as Dev said, a complete game for 3 quarters, and I believe even in the 4th quarter we played pretty well. We just could not get a clean look at the basket. Jonquel Jones, to me, is a top 3 to 4 pick in the WNBA draft, and she really exerted herself and her shot blocking abilities, and we had no answer for that. And part of that is me. I should have inserted Angela Staffolino back into the game because she shot the ball so well and drugged their other post player out to the perimeter, which allowed for one-on-one coverage. You can go back and talk about woulda, coulda, shoulda. At the end of the day, we played 3 very difficult games in 48 hours, and our kids gave everything they had for those 48 hours. I was incredibly proud of them, and I wouldn't have changed anything other than the last maybe 3 minutes of the game. I was really proud of them. Their efforts were just outstanding. So I felt really good about it. And we took that week off, and we had Selection Monday, and here we are today. Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you for supporting
Okay.
women's basketball. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach. Just about 12 minutes left on the open locker room.